What does one talk about on a podcast? Especially if you want it to be about spirituality and healing. That's such a touchy subject for me because there's so many facets to spirituality, and you can honestly go anywhere and everywhere with it. Um Earlier, I was posed with the question, do you think God is the unknown? And the answer to that is yes. God is everything. It's the hidden, it's the emptiness, it's the void, it's the darkness, it's the light, the love. It's everything. It's in everything, and it is everything. And it's also nothing. It's the nothingness and the emptiness as well. And that's always interesting to think about because it's like, what do you mean? Are you implying that God is like evil? And if you think about it, I could be. As I don't know, as why I don't want to talk on stuff like this because I'm still formulating what I truly believe. And I don't know I don't know what I really believe like like concretely, I guess. I don't know. I don't know. This is also why I don't want to talk on stuff like this, is because there's a lot of stuff formulating and there's a lot of stuff that I do not know. Because even though I've been on this journey for 3 years, it still feels like I don't know anything. And I know a lot, but I don't know everything. And I feel like I could search for all of my life and still never know what everything is. It's only what I can speculate and think on, almost like a philosopher, you know? But honestly, like what I really love thinking on what God is that it is love. It is a vibration and energy in the universe that is everywhere the same way that light is. It's a vibration. It holds everything together. It's in between everything. It's a force. It's a vibration. It's a force, what have you. But it's the energy of light and love. They're one and the same to me. So yeah, you have the darkness, but you also have the light, and I feel like that's what God is. It's just pure energy, energetic love and spirit. And it's hard to understand what that is too. What is spirit? And it's like the soul, it's the essence, and I believe we all have that within us. And so does everything. Like a tree has the divine spark within it. An animal, yeah. An ant, yeah, it has it. I've even gone so far as to wonder, is our table and chair godly, you know? Like what? Oh my god, I'm gonna go down some crazy pathways. How do you know, like, is your chair sentient, you know? That sounds so weird to say out loud, but I've had thoughts like this. How do we know our walls and our houses aren't part of God's consciousness, you know? Is it because it needs a soul? There's so many little pathways you can go down with what is God and what isn't God. If God is nothing, then that should mean our walls and our chairs and our beds and the material stuff in life is God too, you know? So when you sit down, you be like, thank you, godly chair. That's just me being a dumbass though. Uh but yeah, I really believe it's a vibration, and it stems from your heart space. Like it that's where it radiates, because when you start connecting to your heart more, you feel it. You feel it, and you feel the connection to everything. You feel the connection to people, animals, your chair, your godly chair, you know? You just feel connected to everything. And I've only experienced it a handful of times. And I think that's when I had my vibration, like I was intentionally working on raising it through uh going through my darknesses. And and it's kind of a crazy feeling. It almost feels like you're floating, like you exist but you don't exist. You're a part of everything but a part of nothing. And that's what I know. That's why I say God is the nothing and the everything. It's because I felt it on a couple of occasions. And it's such a weird feeling, just like feeling like you're floating. You're there but you're not. I don't know. Like this is what I mean. There's a lot of I don't knows to this. There's a lot of like question marks. What is that? Can I put words to that? I don't know. What is God? I don't know. He's the, and I don't want to say he because that's the patriarchy bullshit. It, I honestly believe it's an it. It, since it's a force and a thing, it is everything, it is nothing. But recently, this year, I was entertained with an idea of both aspects of God not being a he, like how religion tries to get you to think. But in actuality, there's two aspects of God. There's the mother, the divine mother, which is the divine feminine spark, and then which is knowledge, wisdom, and nurturing and care and all that. And then there's the masculine side of it, the father, the divine father. That's the action. That's the yin yang stuff. Two together equals God. And I don't know. I haven't fully thought on this, but I've been incorporating it into what I feel God is. It is the mother and the father, because what? God can't create itself everywhere just being a man, can he? Can it? I don't know. So and that's where I see how I say there's that religious attachment to calling it a he, but I don't think it's a he, I don't know. Again, another I don't know. I'm gonna call these podcasts I don't know, because I don't know. But it's interesting to ponder on, but it makes sense to have a feminine and a divine masculine, because within us we each have both of those energies, the yin and the yang from Buddhism, the light and the dark. We embody that as well within us. So it makes sense that at a macro scale, that's what God is too. It's both aspects. It's not just the yang. I think yang is masculine. It's not just the father, how Christianity and other religions try to get you to think, which I think is intentional, honestly. I really feel like they purposely exclude the divine mother, because they don't want people understanding their power that we have both within us. They want to keep us from knowing that, because when we know that, we can change reality. And I don't know if the church is intentionally doing that, but I feel like they are. And this is a whole nother topic, why I reject the church. It feels like it's a tool. I respect all religions, but I don't like how some of them use it to control and to think, how to tell people to think. That's just the rebel in me. I don't know. I feel like people should form their own opinions on what God is. And if you're listening to this, I don't want you to just take all my opinions on what God is. Form your own, Don't just take my words as gospel. Even though technically when you've ascended and understand and become enlightened, you understand that your word is God's word. So technically you could take these as God speaking to you. And that goes into the whole God complex thing where, I'm almighty, I'm all powerful, I'm all knowing. But that's not what it is. Spirituality, there's a fine line actually of having that God complex, but also no, it's not a God complex where I'm better than you. Like, little peons, get away from me, peasants. Is peons a word? That sounds right. I don't know. I always know words without knowing them. Peont. We're going to talk about that too, probably in these podcasts. Because I just be knowing shit. And that's part of my spiritual gifts. But anyway, rambling. I don't know as in ramblings. That's what these podcasts are going to be. But it sounds fun. Anyway, back to the point. What is the point? I don't know. I lost the point. Spirituality. Yeah, it's not a God complex where I'm better than you. It's an understanding. That's what spirituality teaches you and gets you to understand. It's an understanding. It's the concept that you are one with the divine spark. You are a part of everything and nothing. You are one and the same as God. Your word and your thoughts are the same as God's. And when you're closed off, you're gonna have negative thoughts, and I think honestly that's what you're gonna have negative thoughts and negative words like, the world sucks, everything's hopeless, everybody hates me. You're gonna have those types of thoughts and words speaking to yourself. You're gonna be listening to stories that aren't you. But as you work on those and you start operating more from your heart space where I believe God resides, you detach from that mental where I believe if you only operate out of the mental, then you're more in the devil energy. And that's what religion, I think what it truly is. It's not some evil man that's got horns, Lucifer over there. But I think it's your mind. I think that's where the devil resides, because that's where we get enticed and we get like led astray, essentially. And what do you mean by led astray? It's from your heart space, because a lot of the time when you're overthinking, you're confused, you're doubting, you're fearful, that is you living with devil energy, stuck in the mind, trapped in the mind. Great song by Kid Cudi, by the way. But as you keep progressing on your spiritual journey, you start learning how to operate out of your heart space more. And from there comes trust, faith, and love, and just like knowing, There's no overthinking. There's no, should I do this? Oh man, no. Like there's no what ifs. It's just, you know what, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna see what's up. And that's kind of what I'm doing here too, I guess. I've just jumped through so many topics and just that's what I was afraid of with talking about stuff like this, is because my mind wants to go everywhere quickly and also nowhere. It just wants to chill and have silence, enjoy the silence. That's God too. That's godly as well. That's why meditation is so powerful. You connect to your godly self. Yeah, I don't know. I guess that's what I think God is. It's an energy. It's everything and nothing. It's balance. It's peace. It's love. It's also the mind too, if you think about it. It's them. And I want to call it a them because it's the feminine and the masculine. It's the mother and the father, divine mother and the divine father. It's them together forming not a singular God, but it's gods. And that's what I've been trying to incorporate after realizing these things and being introduced to that concept this year. It's actually fascinating, and I like, recognizing the divine mother. Because that's where femininity and all that comes from. That's where nurturing, love, care, birth, the womb, creativity, all of that flows through that aspect. And the fucking religious patriarchy over there wants to cut people off from that. And this takes me to another thing of what God is. God is that creative spark. If you have an idea in your heart and it's telling you to do something, follow it. That's God speaking directly to you. Your godly higher self is saying, hey, chase this dream. Hey, go take that trip. Hey, you should go rest. Hey, read this book. It's going to lead you where you're meant to be led for your soul's journey. Your soul is leading you to what you need. It's even if it takes you to the harsh lessons and the betrayals and the traumas and the hurts, it's still going to lead you to your ultimate soul's growth. And I've understood this for 3 years now, and it's painful. And that's what I want to know. That's what I want to talk about on spirituality. When you picture the word spirituality, you probably picture like heaven and like rainbows and sunshine. But in actuality, spirituality is destruction. It's painful. It hurts. It's the abyss. You're going into your deepest, darkest parts of your subconscious and your mind and your fears and your heart, and what you willingly chose to stay hidden from and not face. And spirituality is going to make you face it. They're going to bring you mirrors and people who are going to give you that lesson in order for you to shed away the illusions and the lies and the devil, so that you can come closer to God and what that means to you. What's in your heart? What is your heart wanting you to do? What is your heart calling you to do? You're going to shed away the insecurities. You're going to know what to do, when to do it, what to say. You're going to be confident in yourself because you realize you are everything. You are as God is, you know? Everything's going to plan. And yes, we're still humans, and you're gonna lose sight of that. And myself too. Like, I even being on this journey for 3 years, there's times where I'm doubting and like, I don't know, what's the point, you know? But I always get thrown back onto my right path. It doesn't matter what I'm trying to do by self-sabotaging. I will be led to where I'm supposed to go and who I'm supposed to talk to and what I'm supposed to be doing. And it's all for my highest soul's growth, you know, what my divine plan is. And yeah, we lose sight of it, but it's always there, even when we're closed off or just tired and resting or rejecting the path too. The path is still laid out for you, you know? You're always going to come back to it. And even if you think, oh, I'm closed off, I'm not doing anything, you're still there. God is love. God is patient, you know? It's the feminine aspect. It's patience. It's going to wait there for you until you are ready to get back on the path. And I think this is why we have multiple spiritual awakenings. I hope, oh man, I forgot to take off my bracelet because sometimes my bracelets will like cause static on my mic. But anyway, that's why we have multiple spiritual awakenings, because there's times where you incorporate what you know, you go through the lessons, you sit and face yourself with self-awareness, you find the lesson, you break the cycle, you forge a new path, you incorporate what you learned, and then you go out into humanity and deal with people and spread your knowledge and your love and your vibration, you know, your aura. You spread it. And then life will cycle back around because life is part of cycles. God is cycles, cyclical. You got the light and the dark. So the dark's going to come back around and it's going to put you through new lessons. It's like, okay, you learned that? Here's some more new lessons for your soul's growth and your path and your purpose. And then it's just an infinite loop. That's why I think a lot of spirituality has that Fibonacci spiral. It's because that's what God is too. That's what spirituality and God is. It's an endless spiral. You always come back to either new lessons or old lessons and old healings to revisit what you learned and to keep testing you and to just keep you on your path. And it's cool to see. Wow, I really talked for 18 minutes. I just looked down and saw the time. 10:01, by the way. 1-1. That's God's right there. I guess I'll wrap this up because I could talk about this for hours. My throat is already drying out if you can't hear it. I could talk about this for hours and end up on so many concepts and thoughts and just think pieces, you know? And then I can also go downhill and talk about how everything feels hopeless because even though I personally ascended and grew, at the end of the day, it doesn't change anything at the macro scale of the global world, you know? Humanity still sucks, honestly. Like, nothing changes. We're always at war. We're always killing each other over nothing. We're always exploiting bullshit for profit, you know? And then nothing changes because the people at the top... Oh, my God, I'm going to get political. Nothing changes because the people at the top who control the majority of the wealth are evil. Money itself isn't evil. It's a tool. But the people who own a majority of it, they're fucking evil. And they... I got political. This is why I don't want to have a podcast, because I will talk about all this shit and how people suck. And it's not all people, I know that. But man, there are some dark humans here that we are contending with, and that's what spiritual warfare is about. Yes, those dark warriors are out there, those dark humans, but we, the spiritually ascended ones, chosen ones, are here to anchor in God's light, God's love to Mother Earth and the world. You know, we're supposed to spread it to balance those evil motherfuckers. But it kind of sucks that the evil motherfuckers are the ones at the top with all the money controlling everything. Why can't a light worker be up there, you know? But anyway, I'm going to ramble on that because this whole thing's going to turn into political bullshit. And then this is why I stay out of politics, because there's nothing that I can personally do to change it. People tell you, oh, go vote. You go vote, nothing changes because both sides are the same fucking coin. They're both tainted, you know? Doesn't matter. appears to help people more, but really they still have the same political agendas as the other side. They're just more fucking sneaky about it. Like, what can we do? How can I change the government? And you want to, like, this bugs me. Like, the genocide in Palestine. That's the perfect example of what the fuck. What can I do about that, you know? I can vote all day for somebody, and nothing's going to change because Israel put money into politics over here in the States, you know? And so nothing really changes. No outcome will ever change. All of the world is saying, hey, end that shit, ceasefire, end that shit, whatever. But because a handful of countries say no, nothing changes. And I think that's bullshit. And I honestly, I don't know what we can do about that. Anyway, I did not want to go into politics, but when you're talking about God and love, you have to go into politics like this because it's humanity. It's love for humanity. We want all suffering and wars and famine and all this and poverty to end, you know? We want everybody to have universal health care and what is that other one? Basic income, that universal basic income. We want everybody to have all that good shit, you know? But I don't think it can be all that good shit because God is also the darkness and the nothingness. So maybe those things have to exist for our lessons. I don't know. Can we have a world where love prevails? Or is this supposed to stay this way because why? What reason is this supposed to stay this way, you know? I've derailed. And maybe you guys will have entertainment with that. But yes, these are the types of, when I'm like to myself, these are the types of things I'm thinking. And I try my best to not get into my head about any of this because holy shit will it depress me out. So I'd rather just depress myself out by going into my darknesses and my traumas and trying to heal through that instead. So largely I stay away from politics and the news because at a macro level it's depressing to ingest all that constantly. And I don't think humans were ever meant to ingest that much content that's negative. And it's frustrating because you'll have school shootings, you'll have mass murders, you'll have people raping people, you know? You'll have all these negative, ugly, nasty, downright evil acts, one after another. The news is just bombarding us with it, and nothing changes and nothing gets done. And I think it's honestly by design, because maybe if there is a devil, it would make sense that he would control the money at the top to buy the news outlets and feed people fear to keep them hopeless. I don't know. I haven't really thought on what the devil is anymore. I try to stay away from like religious concepts like that. But in a spiritual war, that makes sense. That would be what the devil would do, you know? Feed people hopelessness and depression and ugliness and evil and let them see that nothing is changing to keep them down and depressed, you know? Where he will thrive in your mind because your mind's depressed, your mind's anxious, your mind's overthinking. Boom. He has your soul, you know? He has a part of your soul now. He has control of you. Because you're no longer operating from the heart where you're like, hey, we can change this. Instead, you're operating in your fearful mind and your devil mind where like, fuck everything, you know? And I get this way too. I was recently in this way. But I don't know. Spiritual warfare is interesting. And I need to think more on what it is. But again, it cycles back to I don't know. I don't think we ever can know. We can just formulate what we think and what we feel. I guess I should say what we feel because we got to operate from the God heart space, you know? What is God? Is God the devil too? I don't know. That's what I'm going to title this podcast. I don't know. Yo, 25 minutes for my first speech. Hopefully everything's okay and it wasn't staticky with my bracelet. Anyway, peace out. With love. we gotta spread the love and the light, you know? Hope you guys have a great day. Goodbye. Oh, I forgot to add, love your neighbors, love your pets, love yourself, love the world, love humanity, love the trees, love the earth, love all of creation, because that's what we're here to do. We're here to remember who we are as our true authentic self and our true authentic soul. And we choose, and we have to choose, are we the dark that lives in fear, anger, and hate, or are we the light who lives in love, compassion, and gratitude, and faith? Anyway, goodbye. I wanted to end on a happier note rather than a depressing one.